So you're an indie filmmaker and you have this dream of making this epic film, but you also have a life to live. At some point, you're going to have to balance your dreams with reality. So I call it Plan A, Plan B, but there's also Plan C and Plan D. So let's talk about Plan A versus Plan B. Plan A is make a movie, sell it, be successful, make many more movies, and make a career out of it. That is Plan A. That is your dream. But let's say that doesn't quite work out. How long are you going to pursue that? Say, how long are you going to pursue trying to finance this movie? Are you going to give it a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? One of my other videos, I said, no means not today. So at some point, you might want to say, I've given it enough time. It doesn't mean it's dead. It just means that maybe I have to change priorities and I have to focus on maybe making a living and doing something else, which is what I call Plan B, is kind of getting on with your life. Even though that's not really what you want to do Plan A. Plan B, you don't want to ruin your life. You don't want to consume your life with this dream that is going to destroy everything else that makes you happy as a person. So your Plan B is in some ways maybe more practical. You know, you have to decide who you want to be and maybe some other career path, maybe some other job or something like that fills the gap so that you can make a living, be happy, and do other things in your life, you know, have hobbies and maybe have a family while you're still pursuing your dream. Here's my recommendation. Come up with a plan that you feel that gives yourself a fair shot at actually being successful. Let's say you say as a filmmaker, I need to give myself 3 years to really hone my skills, be able to pitch my projects to enough investors and really give it a good shot at getting financed and getting films made. And, you know, some might say 5 years, some might say 2 years, whatever. But let's say your plan is 3 years realistically. And now, how do you come up with that number, by the way? The way you come up with that number is at the end of 3 years, you need to be able to say to yourself, I gave it my best shot. I worked like a dog. I did everything that I could. And I really feel good that I gave it my best shot. Such was life. The timing wasn't right or whatever, or maybe the project wasn't right. My dream isn't dead, but now I got to switch gears and I got to move in to the next phase of my life, Plan B, because there's other things that I want to achieve in life. Like I want to be a happy, fulfilled person. Maybe I want to have a family. Maybe I want to do this, whatever the case may be. So at that point, you move on and you always feel satisfied that you gave it your best shot. Okay, that's how you know how much time. If after 3 years you don't feel satisfied, then one of two things has happened. You haven't worked hard enough in that 3 years, or you need more time. Maybe you just didn't give yourself enough time. A lot of it is based on financial components. Like you're not making a living while you're pursuing your dreams. It's usually family or friends or somebody who helps you financially get through it and support you. Maybe you're in training in school or training for a sport or something like that. So that's another component as to how long your runway is, how much money you've been given or how many resources you've been given in order to fulfill that dream. Once you get to that end, hopefully you've fulfilled it. Hopefully you've achieved what you wanted to. But if you haven't, move on and start Plan B, the other things that potentially you want to accomplish in your life. But it doesn't mean that Plan A is dead. It means that Plan B is now the priority in your life, and Plan A is the secondary priority. When you have a dream and it's a real dream, it never dies. You have it the rest of your life. So all you got to do is you got to say, hey, I tried really hard at this time in my life. Now I'm going to do something else. But it doesn't mean that at some other time in my life, I can't reignite that dream. It's always going to be alive. And here's what happens. Sometimes Plan B kicks in and you're successful. You start to make a living at something else. You make some money and the timing is right. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, now I've found balance. I've got everything I want in this component of my life, but I still have this dream. But now you have the resources maybe to go back to try to reignite Plan A. All right. So maybe you're successful at something else financially. And now you say, I am going to throw some more money at trying to get Plan A reignited. And I've seen this many, many times when filmmakers who wanted to do this, say right out of film school to make a feature film, gave it their best shot, but they didn't necessarily have the experience or the financial resources to really give it the shot that it really required. 10, 15, 20 years later, after they've done other things and become successful and the dream never died, they went back, redid it. Now they're way more experienced, way more balanced as a person, way more mature, and generally have a little bit more financial resources in order to give it that shot. They say life is all timing. Sometimes you just have to wait it out and your time will come. Now, sometimes your time never comes, all right? Plan A never gets realized, but at least you can go to your grave saying, I gave it my best shot. That's what's really important.